Hey everybody, this week we've been talking about food webs. So today I have a little lab on food webs that I would like for you to participate in and do. If you are coming to school, then please wait and do this lab in class with me. But if you've missed this lab or you're remote, then go ahead and follow the instructions as they're given in this video. When you're told to pause and do something, please pause and do that thing. You'll get more out of this lab and you'll learn more that way. If you just play through and you don't do the activity, you're not really going to have any fun and you're not going to get anything out of this lab. So the materials that you're going to need are small objects that come in 6 colors. We use Fruit Loop cereal, but you can use whatever, small little beads, beans. If you color them with magic markers, that's just fine. Small pieces of paper that you wad up, anything that comes in 6 colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. You'll need about a cereal bowl full of these objects, a baggie, a timer, and the other person is going to be key. All right, they're not going to have a huge role here, but they have a very important role. So first, you'll need to pick your critter. We have 7 options here. So I don't care which one you choose, but pick one. And if you need more time to pick one, you can pause and think about that for a few minutes. But I want us to consider their eating habits and their roles in the ecosystem. So please write these down. Take notes on this. You'll need this for your lab quiz. The deer eats only plants. So what would you call it? An herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore? Hopefully you're thinking that it's an herbivore. A fox, many of you probably think of a fox as a carnivore, but they will eat berries and things. So a fox would be an omnivore. Now, let's think about the type of meat that a fox eats. That's going to be important. It is an omnivore, so it does eat meat, but does it prey on other animals to get that meat? Or does it just find dead things and get its meat that way? Well, a fox is a predator, so it's a hunter and it's going to kill small rodents and things in order to get its meat supply. The rabbit eats only plants, so it's an herbivore. The lynx, and the lynx is a big cat, okay? Lynx is a carnivore, right? But what kind of meat does a lynx eat? Are they a predator or are they a scavenger? Lynx would be a predator. They're going to prey on, again, mostly small rodents, rabbits, things like that. The turkey buzzard, and I'm sure we've all seen turkey buzzards feeding on dead things, right? So they are carnivores, but they're scavengers. So they're going to pick off dead things from the environment. The elk is kind of like a big deer. So they are herbivores, only eat plants. The raccoon eats a little bit of everything. They love to get into garbage cans and they'll eat whatever they can find. So the raccoon is considered to be an omnivore. Now, what kind of meat will the raccoon eat? Do they typically find dead things or do they typically hunt things and kill them? Raccoons typically find something dead laying on the ground, so they are scavengers. So let's run through those real quick. A deer is an herbivore. A fox is omnivore, but it is a predator when it eats meat. The rabbit is an herbivore. The lynx is a carnivore, but it is a predator. The turkey buzzard is a carnivore, but it's a scavenger. The elk is an herbivore. The raccoon is an omnivore, and when it eats meat, it is a scavenger. If you need to go back through those, you can rewind. Okay, so now we're ready to play our game. Part 1, you're going to have the other person hide your colored objects from you somewhere, preferably outside if you can, but inside works also. Now, if you're using Fruit Loops, you probably don't want to hide those in your house because you're not going to find them all and you'll end up with ants. But if you're going outside, Fruit Loops are a great option because they break down in the environment. So think about those kinds of things when you're deciding where to hide your objects. Now, the colored objects are going to represent the resources in your environment. You're going to have access to all of those resources. So some of those should be scattered out and easy for you to find, and others should be hidden in small little piles in certain places. So have the other person think about those kinds of things when they are hiding your objects. Go ahead and have the other person do that. Pause the video until they tell you those objects are hidden. Okay, so hopefully that other person is now back. and the objects are hidden. So now I want you to go outside or wherever the objects are hidden, spend about 12 minutes getting as many of those as you can and putting them into your baggie. You're going to gather as many resources as possible. So use your timer. When it goes off after 12 minutes, come back. So pause the video, go find your stuff, and then come back to me. Okay, so hopefully you have gathered some objects. So once you've done your search, I want you to dump your bag out in a nice little location. Separate them out into piles. You don't have to count them, but you just want them all sorted out by color. Your bag should be empty when you're done. You can pause if you need to. All right, the colors are going to be representative of all the resources in your environment. So let's go through what those colors mean. The red is the predator meat. The orange is the scavenger meat. Yellow is shelter. Green are your plants. Blue will be your water. And purple will be pollution. So we're going to remove the food items that you cannot eat and place those resources that are unusable to you back in your baggie. So if you are a deer, an elk, or a rabbit, you're going to take away the red and the orange because you can't eat any kind of meat. If you are the turkey buzzard, you are going to remove the predator meat and the plants because you're a scavenger. If you're a raccoon, you can keep the plants and you can keep the scavenger meat, but you have to put the red meat away. If you are a lynx, you're going to keep the red, but you're going to put the orange and the green back in your bag. If you are a, what are my other ones? If you are a fox, you're going to keep out the predator meat and you're going to keep out the plants, but you're going to put away the scavenger meat. And I think that takes us through all of those. So once you've removed the food items you can't eat, we're going to see how long you're going to survive. So pause the video if you need more time to remove the items you can't use. All right, so we're going to go through one round at a time, and I want you to act this out as we go through these rounds. So you'll be placing some resources back in your bag, and I want you to keep note of when you end up dying in this experiment. So in round one, the purple items are going to be your pollution. So for every pollution you have, you're going to subtract one food or one water resource. You don't have to do both. So pick up a purple object and one of your food resources and put those back in your bag. You can pause the video until you're done removing your purple and food sources. All right. So if you died in round one, you can just put that you died in round one because you had too much contamination in your food and water. In round two, you're going to need to remove 5 food, 5 water, and 5 shelter. So you're going to pick up 5 of your food, 5 of your blue, and 5 of your yellow objects and put them back in your bag. If you have just enough, then you survive. If you have more than that, of course, you survive. If you don't have enough, then you died because you did not have enough resources. So you can jot that down if you died in round 2. Pause if you need to. Round 3, if you're a scavenger, you get 5 food items from a dead organism. Keep in mind you would be playing this with a class full of people, so you could take 5 foods from one of your classmates that had died. If you are playing this alone, then you can just take 5 more out of your box. All right, pause if you need to. Round 4, keep in mind that scavengers are going to be your turkey buzzards and your raccoons only. All right, in round 4, you need 3 food, 3 water, 3 shelter. If you have more than that or just enough, you survive. If you don't have enough, then you died because of lack of resources. Pause if you need to. But going on to round 5, a multi-day storm forces you to use 5 of your shelters. So if you don't have enough, then you died in this storm. Round 6, you need 3 food, 3 water, and 3 shelters. So if you have those things, then you survived the game and you did a great job in gathering your resources. And if you did not get those things, then you died due to a lack of resources. So there are some conclusion questions that I want you guys to answer. What animal were you? What was your role in the ecosystem? As in, what was your eating habit? Talk about your advantages and disadvantages. Think about what you were able to eat and what you were able to take from other people, maybe. Those would be your advantages and disadvantages in the food web. Tell me how long you survived, how many rounds, and what it was that killed you in that round. How did pollution affect your environment? And remember, you would be playing this as a class. So if you had the same amount of colored objects, how would competition affect your amount of resources if you were playing this with other people? All right, you do have a quiz on this, so please, once you finish, go ahead and take your quiz. And I hope that you enjoyed this activity, and I hope that you actually went through it because, like I said, you get more out of it when you participate. All right, guys, contact me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.